So hi everybody, I'm just on my way down to the boat. It's a little job today. Well, I say a little job, it's supposed to be a little job. It's the Tappet Lash setting, so it's the kind of the gap between the rocker arm, I think, and the top of the tappets or the valves. I think is what it is. It needs to be done every 500 miles. It certainly needs to be done after the first 500 miles, which is where I am with my Beta Marine 30. It kind of hit that at the end of last season. So I've got to take the rocker cover off, disconnect a hose, which I think is something to do with vacuum or... Anyway, I think it's fairly straightforward. It's not got any pressure in it. It's just any oil in it or anything like that. So I've got to take that off, and then I have to obviously make these adjustments with feeler gauge, and I have to kind of crank the engine around by hand to get the pistons to top dead center each time, so the valve's in exactly the right place. To get that correct measurement. So never done it before, not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to have a go and see where I get. Righty ho, I'm on the boat and ready to start this little project then. So if I turn the camera around, here is the rocker cover on my Beta Marine 30, this bit here. It's the oil filler, and there's this device here which is connected to a little hose. Now my understanding is that this little hose has no pressure in it. It's not got oil in it or anything like that. It's just a kind of a vent of some sort back into something. So there's a clip which I've got to undo, and the other thing that I have just done is to take these cable ties off, because this is the anti-siphon loop up from the exhaust elbow at the back of the engine, and this anti-siphon loop, just so that you can see where it goes up here right in the center of the boat, to prevent anything nasty coming back up into the engine, i.e. water that you don't want to get up, seawater that you don't want to get up there. So this anti-siphon loop has been obviously put in here, strapped together, but it was kind of rubbing on this, so someone had sensibly strapped the whole thing down so it couldn't really move. But I needed to get that out of the way so I can get to this thing here. So that's my next step, to take that off. I have a feeling it might be easier to undo the bolts and lift this up and move that at that point. Anyway, let's try it that way around. Alright, let's get a few things out of the way here. The dipstick. To come off. I wonder if I should just try and lever the... I think it's got a kind of rubber gasket underneath this. Let me go around the back, see if I can ease it up or see anything else preventing it from moving. Ooh. Look, we've got some movement. I think it's just I wonder if I'm making, work for myself or not. Maybe I need to remove this, which is the pipe. And I've already had this off before. It's just more faffing around. It's where this is just the pipe that comes through from the raw water pump through to the heat exchanger. It's not difficult to remove, it's just another bit of a faff, but it would probably make things easier. So I've decided to take the pipe off here. It is not terribly difficult to do. I have to undo these little bolts here. Except it's got an Allen key on the back. Yeah, so this it just looks like a lifting point for the engine. I can't think what else it could be. It's just got a single bolt in there, which I'll take off. It would help if I was undoing it, not doing it up. Yeah, I'll just move it to the side. Okay. Oh, look at this, it's coming away. Ah, amazing. And there it is. Lovely jubbly. So you get a good view of the rockers, and here are the rockers. Now I can see them. Now my understanding here is that we adjust these nuts, or these screws, and they are locked with these nuts, and provide a gap at top dead center with the springs which control the tappets which are going up and down inside the engine. 2 valves per cylinder, and at top dead center there will be a gap between the top of the rocker and I suppose this point here, and that is what I need to adjust for with the feeler gauge. So that's my plan. Right, so I should now be able to, yeah, there we go. You can't see that, but hopefully just undo, just pull that off. There we are. And that's the cover, rocker cover. And it's got its rubber gasket, which is quite convenient. Now I think I'm going to see, okay, so let me just explain here what I'm going to try and do. I think so I have a feeling what you're supposed to do is to release the injectors so that there's no pressure in the cylinders, and then you can rotate the engine using this nut here, I think. Ooh, using this nut here to get the pistons to top dead center in turn, in order to measure the valves with the feeler gauge. But I think I've heard some people say they just don't need to do that, and they've managed to do it just by putting just cranking it with a bolt on there. So let's see what happens if I try that. See if I can turn the engine a little bit, or just enough. Okay, so I really need a 15mm socket for this, which I don't have. It looks like, well, actually on there it says 23 mil socket. This is just the wrong tool to try and do this with. You need quite a lot of leverage on it. And do it with this. Oh, actually, so when I do that, see, this is all completely new to me, digging around inside the top of a diesel engine. Just put this light in somewhere where you can see things. There we go. So yeah, when I get some leverage on this, you can see the tappets moving. Whether we'll get enough and quite how we work out where top dead center is, I don't know. It's not something I've thought about. Well, I'm definitely having fun with this. I'm turning the crank here, having not undone the injectors. It just needs a few. You can actually hear the compression easing. Little hiss. Just give it a few seconds and it eases off. So I've got to try and... So when a pair of those rockers is at their highest point, just before, I think it's just before the pressure releases and the piston starts going down, it's about there. At the back ones, they're parallel. I'm then putting this feeler gauge in, and seeing if I can get it, which I can. I think that is TDC. Yeah. And this is a 0.15mm gauge. It should be 0.64, so it should be slightly fatter than this, but it's the only one I've got. And that's what we do. You bung it in. It goes in with not a lot of effort, but they both seem to be. It's certainly not loose. Just go a little further. See if it loosens at all or tightens. That goes in nicely. It's not getting any looser. Another tiny bit of crank. Ah, it's got tighter again now, so we've gone past TDC. So I'll bring it back again. I'm going anti-clockwise now. Yeah, I'm just getting it sliding in there. So the lighting is okay here, I think. So you can see I've got this 15.15. It's the engine seems to be tight, if anything. I really don't know, but if I put this feeler gauge into here, I can just about get that one underneath, squidging it in. This one goes in nice and easily. So I'm gonna I'm going to have a go at undoing that. Of course the camera is in the wrong place, but you can see it's just a screw head to adjust the top of the rocker arm. That's got it. Okay. So let's undone that. Now so that would appear to be about right. So I can see the angle on that screw head actually parallel, so when I do that up, I want to be confident it doesn't alter the screw head position. That seems good. They seem similar. So I haven't changed the far piston at all. That seemed absolutely fine. This, if anything, seemed tight. Fine. Right. So, another cranking to get to the middle piston in the right spot, and then we can do that one. So I can see the valves going down here and here, which tells me, I'm thinking, that TDC for the middle piston is when those are at their lowest, probably. Oop, we've gone beyond, so we've gone, just looking at the crankshaft here, gone beyond that highest compression, and we've gone clockwise, so I need to come back probably. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, so that, again, we've got, this one is going in, well, I say that, yeah, it's going in okay. So the same thing, I'm going to just loosen that loosen this one off. Okay, so there we are. I think that's as good as I'm going to get. You can actually feel them rocking slightly. So I've only undone 2 and I've tightened them up good and proper. I'm slightly nervous that I haven't done the right thing, but I haven't moved much, so I think it's probably okay. So really now it's all about putting it back together again. This kind of quite neat clip thing here. Goes onto the, there we go, belongs on there, holds that in place. Just make sure that the seat from the gasket is clear of gunk. Well, I was kind of quite pleased with the way that went. I thought it would be more difficult than it was, but then that's quite often the way with these things, and you get stuck in, have a go. Yeah, you can end up not doing what you had hoped to do, but yeah, I managed it. Didn't have to make too many adjustments. And I think it's, yeah, I think it's quite reassuring that I was able, for me anyway, I was able to take it apart, take the rocker cover off, get to grips with what needed to happen. I'd looked at a few videos. There's nothing out there on the Beta Marine 30 in that detail, at least not that I've been able to find. So hopefully it's been a useful little exploration of what's under the rocker cover and how to get the rocker cover off, and what to expect, and then the actual tappet lash adjustments, which are covered elsewhere a bit. So yeah, anyway, hopefully that was good, hopefully it was useful, and again, thank you very much for watching. Do click the like if you happen to like it, which would be great, and if you want to subscribe, even better. Thank you very much.